Welcome back. You're still with us on Startup Street. New York-based tech company Keychain has raised $18 million in a seed funding round by Lightspeed Venture Partners with participation from Box Group, Afore Capital, SV Angel, and over 20 consumer packaged goods industry professionals. Now, the startup says its proprietary technology helps retailers and brands quickly identify the best manufacturing partners for consumer goods packaging. Joining us now to discuss this further is Umang Dua, the co-founder of Keychain, and also with me is Shruti. Umang, thank you so much for joining us on Startup Street. Like I just said, Keychain uses AI to help retailers and brands identify best manufacturing partners across the world. Talk to us about how you're doing that and what kind of efficiencies are you bringing into this fragmented industry?
Yeah, thank you for having me. So with Keychain, what we're trying to do is build the first CPG platform for CPG manufacturing, the first global platform. And what that means to the question you asked is, I think it's important to understand when you walk into a store now, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, and you see anything on a shelf, biscuits, chips, pasta, most of the brands making those products now don't actually have the manufacturing capacity. They don't actually have the factories. And that's the same whether you think about beauty or cosmetics or many other consumer industries. And that's a massive change from the way the world worked a decade ago or 2 decades ago, where they were large CPG players that owned their manufacturers. And so the world has changed tremendously when it comes to CPG manufacturing. There's hundreds of thousands of factories, $3 trillion of consumer products made.
Sure.
And what's not changed is the way these brands or retailers who make products are finding their manufacturers. And that's what Keychain hopes to do. So we're going to be the first place where you can actually come find the correct manufacturer. And you can do this by searching, across your quantity, location, the type of products, the type of manufacturing capacity. And if we're able to do that, the hope is we'll have better products and we'll take out a lot of the time. Right now, it takes months or years for brands to find the right manufacturer, but can you do that in minutes or days? And that's really what Keychain is all about.
All right, Umang, this is Shruti quickly stepping in. If you could talk to us about your partnerships. You currently have select invite-only partners on board, and you plan to open your platform to more retailers and brands next year. Tell us, who are you looking to partner with? Also, you have a network of 10,000 manufacturers. So what has the initial feedback been like?
Yes. So the feedback has been great. Prior to Keychain, me and my co-founder actually worked in a company called Handy, where we worked with a number of large retailers on very different space, on their home services. And so again, with Keychain, we're launching with a couple of the larger retailers, more US focused on the demand side to start. Manufacturing, of course, is global by definition. But as we get closer to launch next year, we'll think about international more seriously and onboarding more retailers. And the reason retail, when I say is important, is because white label as a trend is very powerful. And so earlier you had brands producing products. Increasingly, you have large retailers around the world who have their own branded product. And so one of the first things we're doing is helping these retailers get products to their shelves faster. And then after that, working with some of the larger brands globally.
All right. And you've just raised $18 million. How do you plan to use the funds? How are you going to improve your tech stack at this point to expand?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it really boils down to 3 things. The first is people. The second is the product. And the third is our research capabilities. Like I said, there are hundreds of thousands of manufacturers, and each of these things is getting more complicated today. You've got gluten-free, keto-free, you've got all kinds of combinations of manufacturing. And a big part of the funds actually going into the research is building the right product such that when someone is looking for manufacturing, it's a far better experience than going for a trade show, going through a broker, going through a consultant. And so a key part of that 18 million is actually going into the product and the research that will the technology.
All right, one final question, Umang, before we let you go. Talk to us about the monetization plan. How do you plan to make money? Going forward, Keychain aims to help its partners navigate the entire manufacturing process, from sourcing to terms negotiation, onboarding, compliance, and everything else. What revenue models are you looking at?
So the way we're going to think about is initially it's all about adding value. It's adding value to both sides. And by both sides, people looking to make product. And then on the other side, you've got great manufacturers who are investing in technology and production and helping them better monetize the capacity of the technology they have. As we scale and as we start to add the value to both sides, we will make sure that the folks who are looking, whether it's the retailers who are using enterprise level product and they need integrations and they need onboarding, that's where we look at monetizing. And then on the other side with manufacturers, as we continue to add value to some of our great sort of qualified manufacturers, we look at how we can monetize as we send them more and more volume.
All right, Umang. So a lot of things to look at over there. But thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, on that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. Thanks very much for watching. From Shruti, Arundhati, and me, it's a goodbye. But stay with CNBC TV 18. More news and updates will continue on the other side.